First off, Sierra, congratulations on getting almost halfway through your senior year. You are rocking it. I also want to say it's also very smart of you to do it in the chapel and not in the theater, because if you'd done it in the theater, Caroline and I definitely had plans of a video compilation from like everywhere from James River days to like all the way through the Oscars, just like so many videos. So I first actually met Sierra before she came to VES. It was the summer before her 9th grade year. I saw her out at the tennis courts with her mom and her sister Lily, although at the time I actually thought her mom was either another sister or their friend. And I know that Sierra and Lily will be mad at me for saying that, because they always say that I'm going to give their mom too big of a head. But I did really think she was their sister. And then my next thought was actually Sierra looked a lot like what I imagined my own daughter Caroline would look like when she got older. And it was kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I feel like Sierra has become one of my own over the last 4 years. I've had the privilege to teach, coach, and advise Sierra over her 4 years at VES, and even though she didn't even start out as my advisee, I always thought she was one of my own. She and I both started out, her first year as a freshman on the varsity tennis team was my first year coaching the varsity girls as the head coach of the varsity girls team. And it kind of feels like we grew up together in that program. And, you know, many thanks to her and her sister, and obviously a lot of other people, our program has definitely elevated as well. And I asked some of the girls on our team to describe Sarah and talk about some of their favorite memories, and they all use words like she's fun, responsible, a humble leader, she's caring. People have talked about when they lost a match, she's come and comforted them and made them laugh. She's honest and caring and kind, and you know, one of the players' favorite memories was waiting over an hour and a half to play tennis because it had rained 10 minutes before we got to St. Gertrude's, but then beating them in doubles. And then, you know, a lot of players just talk about how playing with her is always fun, how she's approachable, and also when she's on duty, how Sierra and I also do duty together, on top of all of that. But also when she's on duty, one of the girls mentioned about how she talks to her about her life and just helps to debrief what she's going through. And I asked some of the lacrosse girls also to share, because Sierra is not only the team captain in tennis, but also team captain in lacrosse. So a couple of her friends said she's outgoing, sweet, and motivated, and she's one person's favorite memory is being an absolute monster with her behind the goal. And when she first met Sierra, Sierra was so nice to her and allowed her to feel comfortable, and Sierra motivated the whole team. You can see there's a pattern here. To know Sierra is to love and respect her. Anyone who spent any time with her knows that she is smart, athletic, kind, energetic, driven, patient, and funny. Anyone who's taught Sierra can account for the fact she is passionate, hardworking, and she does a lot behind the scenes. She makes the culture of a class better, and I couldn't put my finger exactly on how she does that. She just does. It's just a little magic she has. She's also a really important part of our advisory, and I'm lucky enough to co-advise with Miss Ainsley, who's also here today. And a lot of girls on our advisory had nice things to say about her too, just that she's sweet, outgoing, and caring, friendly, and sweet, and she always has a smile on her face every time we're at advisory lunch. She's inclusive, and one of our advisory's favorite memories was recently making gingerbread houses and just chucking the crushed peppermints at your icing house. And then I also reached out to some of Sierra's close friends. As you guys know, a lot of students here went to James River Day School with her, and also some of her 4-year senior friends. Just about favorite memories with Sierra. So Amanda Cudd said that Sierra is passionate, and she remembers spending until midnight working on college applications. And she said Sierra always remained encouraging. Nikita said, "You're kind, supportive, thoughtful, joyful, a role model for everyone." Mary Claire, who's not a 4-year senior, just a 3-year junior at this point, says she's selfless, intelligent, caring, kind, enthusiastic, dedicated, thoughtful, ambitious, and loving. You probably should have had Mary Claire write your college recommendation. She also said, Sierra's one of the best people I know. She's always trying her best in helping others. She is so selfless and puts the good of the team before her own needs. She's a true captain at heart, whether that be on the field, in the classroom. I have such fond memories of Sierra through lacrosse. One of my favorite memories is walking out onto box to her singing Taylor Swift with her friends in the middle of break. She is so genuine and confident. Caroline Carrington describes her as bubbly, energetic, empathetic, kind, friendly, inclusive, supporting, hardworking, goofy. And one of Caroline's favorite memories with her is this talent when they were about 9 years old, is that Sierra and Caroline were playing Just Dance in their attic, and they decided to make a video star, and Justin Bieber and Nicki Minaj, and Caroline really wanted to be Justin Bieber, so Sierra put on bright red lipstick to become Nicki Minaj. And apparently it was something to have been seen. To this day, there hasn't been a better impression out there. Olivia refers to her as compassionate and dependable, and she talks about when they, favorite memory was when you guys conducted an angsty photo shoot at Wintergreen. And Brennan describes you as selfless, compassionate, and kind. When I was first planning to do this counselor talk introduction, I was going to take all the adjectives and make a word cloud into a poster of different adjectives that describe you, but honestly, I just ran out of time. And I also want to say a lot of really nice things have been said about Sierra, but she's actually not perfect. So I wanted to share one more story from her friend Lily McKee. Lily describes her as kind, a jerky driver, hardworking, and funny. And it talks about this story that one time Sierra, Caroline, and Lily were in Sierra's car with hot chocolate that they had just made. And Sierra said, "I put my coffee in a mug in my cup holder to bring to school every day, and it's never spilt before." So Caroline put her mug in the cup holder. Sierra made a very sharp turn, and her hot chocolate spilled all over the car. And apparently, it's still remnants of that hot chocolate in the car today. So this reminded me about 3 important things that you may or may not know about Sierra. One is that Sierra loves coffee. 2 is that her favorite coffee travel cup leaked so much this year that I'm really hopeful that she threw it away because it was leaking everywhere. And 3, that Sierra also leaves her water bottles everywhere. I am constantly finding her water bottles around campus and being like, "I think this is yours." So it didn't come on time, but you have to imagine I ordered a travel coffee mug that says your name on it. So if anybody sees it around campus, please return it to Sierra Lewis. Sierra, I looked up advice for college student or somebody going to college advice, and honestly, you already do all the things that all the advice online says, like take language classes, put your best into your classes, try sports, try arts. You already do it all. So I don't really have any advice to just pass on to you. I just want to say that I hope that you continue to be yourself, because you yourself is more than enough, and you just are going to make any community you're a part of a more special place. And I know that this community is going to miss you greatly next year. So.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Ram, for being the best advisor, the best third advisor that I could ask for, and also Ms. Ainsley for being a great co-advisor. Also, shout out to Ms. Button and Ms. Burton for making my first 2 years at VES what they were. You all have made such a large impact on my VES experience, and I couldn't imagine it without you. So, for those of you who I haven't met yet, hi, my name is Sierra, and I'm from Lynchburg, Virginia. Also, to understand the rest of this talk, I need to introduce my sister, Lily Lewis. Sadly, she couldn't be here today, but you'll definitely see her around campus soon. Most of you that aren't new probably know her as last year's head of honor committee, or the girl that plays lacrosse. During my first 3 years of high school, Lily and I spent 90% of our time together. We played all the same sports and were typically together in our free time. All her friends became my friends, and all my friends became hers. We were, and still are, best friends. It just looks a little different now. Last year, Lily gave her counselor talk in the spring, and it was amazing. She decided to write a letter to her freshman self, and it was everything that a counselor talk should be. Sentimental, a little vulnerable, and slightly humorous. People constantly came up to me throughout the day, raving about her performance. After the talk, I walked out of the chapel and went to talk to my family, but on the way, I ran into Mr. Lake. I'm only saying this because I know you can take it, and as an athletic director, you think competitively, but what came to mind when you saw me was, Sierra, I don't know how you're going to top that next year. I hadn't even been elected to be a counselor, and there was already pressure to top my sister. Throughout the day, there were a few others to make small comments about how I needed to make my speech superior to hers, and I started panicking about how I would ever be able to do that. Now, 8 months later, the day has come for me to give my counselor talk, and I figured what better thing to talk about than this comparative pressure that I know every person in this room can relate to in some fashion. For me, it has been present between me and my sister since I was born. When we were toddlers, lost my place. It was who would win our parents' attention or who had the prettier princess dress. Elementary school was filled with screaming matches when the smallest implication was made that one of us was better than the other. As we started playing competitive sports where our performances were directly measurable, one sister was always unhappy in the end. In cross country, I always fell short of her times, and in ski racing, she was always behind me. We fixated on the losses and were never fully able to enjoy a win because the other was upset. The constant comments from others had always been there, but middle school was when I became hyper-aware of my comparative standing to Lily in every aspect of my life. In high school, tennis rankings were one of the most stress-inducing experiences for Lily and me, not to mention the stress on Mr. M having to decide who would be the higher seed. Sorry you had to go through that. Every time Lily and I played in a challenge match, the tension could be felt from miles away. Similarly, on the lacrosse field, there have been countless occasions in which one of us has gotten a little too angry and competitive and the other ends up on the ground. To be honest, I was typically the one to get overly aggressive. I'm going to take credit for that. In middle school, it was so tense that my mom banned us from doing 1v1s on each other because they would either result in tears or screaming. This hyper-competitive bubble that we put ourselves in often brought down our experiences and performance. When we worked as a team, it was amazing. We knew each other so well that we could bring out the best in each other. Mr. M tried to put us with different doubles partners many times, but we always made our way back to each other. In lacrosse, we were often the ones to assist each other just because we'd spent so much time playing together and knew what the other one was going to do with a minor glance. If more of our energy was focused on this collaboration, we would have been able to bring each other up so much more. You're going to be a better, happier, and more successful version of yourself if you don't waste your time comparing yourself to everyone around you. Whether it has to do with grades, clothes, friends, sports, money, or looks, just know you have the power to choose whether you bring down your day by telling yourself you aren't good enough or live your life for yourself and find successes in your own individual goals. Especially those of you with siblings, because I know I'm not the only one in this, don't spend your time trying to live up to their legacy or resenting them because they happen to be better than you in some way. I promise you the comments will never stop, but try to start making them go in one ear and out the other. So what I'm going to leave you with is a little phrase that Lily told me to put in after I shared this with her. What she said was that last year Miss Kadelka told her that comparison is the thief of joy, and I thought this was the perfect way to put it, because you can never have enough joy in your life, and so just don't allow this to take it from you. I know it's gone a little long, but I need to do just one important shout out that I couldn't leave out. Thank you to my mom and dad for being the best parents I could ask for. I know I haven't said it enough, but you guys have done a great job. Like, you couldn't have done a better job raising Lily and I love you guys so much. Everyone, there are only 4 days left in the first semester, and seniors, 166 days until graduation. Thank you.